Hi guys. So I wanted to come on real quick and kind of have a little chit chat. I'm out here painting. I'm working on my mom's gnome. So I wanted to come out here. Oh, and before I forget, I made my dad a new rock. I don't know if you can see it. Um, I like to take rocks to my dad's grave and leave him little beautiful paintings and rocks. And unfortunately, last year we had somebody vandalize his grave, and one of the rocks that I painted him, the person that, or people that vandalized the grave, um, shattered one of the rocks that I painted him. So I made him a new one, and I think I'm gonna paint him another one and take it to him. And I haven't been there since I graduated. So a lot of stuff's been going on. So a lot of stuff's been going on. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. If you can hear around me, there's construction going on. Literally right in front of the building that I live in. Um, Anyways, so a lot of stuff's been going on, and that's what I wanted to talk about. So for about a year now, I've been pretty sick. And last year I had to take a leave of absence from work, and thought I was getting better. And then I got really sick again. And again, towards the end of last year, I started being in and out of the hospital. So I had like a 6-month period of time where I started to be okay. Not great. I was still sick, but I wasn't as sick as I was. And then, literally, the day after Thanksgiving, I got extremely sick, and my husband had to keep taking me back and forth to the hospital. We all know how the American healthcare system is. Give me your money. They don't really listen to their patients. I've made videos on here before about doctors and their patients and the relationship between doctors and their patients, and the fact that I feel like doctors feel as if because they've spent all this time in school, they know better than their patients, which I wholeheartedly disagree with, because you're actually not the one living with the condition. You're not the one in the body that is sick. So my advice to doctors is to step off your pedestal. We all know you're a doctor. We all know you think you're better than everybody. I know I used to work in the medical industry, and nurses and medical assistants call it a God complex. That's what doctors get. As soon as they get that title of doctor, they immediately start to develop a God complex. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not God. You're a person with an education, which you might not have done well in school, but we don't, as patients, get to know that. So it doesn't mean that you know everything. In fact, I would say about 80% of your patients know more than you do, because they live in the body, they research what is happening to them specifically. And so my advice to doctors is to listen to your patients. And my advice for patients is to start advocating for yourself. Start speaking up. If you feel like you're not being listened to, voice it. And if they're still not listening to you, move on. Take your insurance money and go somewhere else and find a different doctor that's going to listen to you. So I've been dealing with that. Also dealing with the Social Security system, which is a joke in this country. I'm just going to say it. It is a joke. The federal government in this country is a joke. But in addition to both those things, I was also dealing with something very heart-wrenching. I was watching my marriage disintegrate, and we almost got divorced. And we had like a long, hold on, I'm gonna pause. Very frustrating to me that they're doing construction in this empty field, considering that this is not a construction zone. The only construction that's happening is the Dutch Brothers, which this paving whatever that's going on behind me has nothing to do with the Dutch Brothers. They just decided to use an open field that belongs to somebody else that they did not ask permission from to use the field, and us as residents, we have to live with it. So I do apologize for the starting and stopping. But anyways, back to my marriage. So we ended up having it out. We had it out, and we asked each other the question, do you just want to end this? And the answer from both of us is no, we really don't. And so we agreed that we were going to start working on things. Like we were going to work on things. So then we went a couple weeks, still bickering here and there, still trying to work on some things. And then last Monday, this last Monday, we had a major breakthrough. Not gonna go into detail, just know that I got my marriage back, and I'm extremely happy. A huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. We were able to communicate, which we've been married for almost 23 years. We've been together 23 years. And I think that was the biggest issue, was the lack of communication. Also, we quit really being interested in one another, if I'm being completely honest. I got so wrapped up in being sick. I lost my sparkle. Any woman that's going through midlife knows what that means, to lose your sparkle. When you're chronically ill, I don't want to get upset. When you're chronically ill, it's hard to feel yourself. It's hard to think of yourself as an attractive being. And when you're the caregiver for the person that you love, it starts to take a toll on your mental health, which is what it started to do to him. He no longer saw me as the girl that he fell in love with. He saw me as the person that he had to constantly take care of. And so there's some other things that we had to work out. Those will stay between me and him. Just know that they got worked out. We had like this major breakthrough, and it's a huge weight off. But one of the things that I decided to do was, I no longer have a personal Facebook. It's scheduled for deletion, and I got rid of all my other social media. I don't have TikTok anymore. So I got rid of all my other social media. I don't have TikTok. I don't have Snapchat anymore. I'm not doing my Headmistress of Rock podcast right now, where I keep people up to date on music news. that's on pause. I may resume that later on down the line, but I'm not doing that right now. So this Facebook and my Instagram and my YouTube page, my Healing Bow YouTube page, are all I have. And I'm really not going to be on here very much, except for to post links to my YouTube page. I might come on and scroll for a few minutes, but I'm really not going to be posting very much. Not really going to be posting pictures or long form videos like this anymore. Just a link for you to go to my YouTube page so that you could watch my Healing Bow videos. I wanted to dramatically draw back on the amount of social media so that I could pour more of myself into my husband. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm really involving myself. I converted to Orthodoxy about 2 years ago. And I have really decided to pour myself into going to Vespers, going to the liturgy services, just committing myself as an Orthodox Christian. So my marriage, my faith, and then the other thing is I just finished paralegal school, right? And I was excited because I did really well, but I'm finding it very difficult to find a position as a paralegal because most lawyers want you to have at least 3 years experience before they hire you. Well, newsflash, guys, you can't get the experience unless somebody hires you. So you're expecting people to have 3 years experience. How are they going to get the experience without being hired? That makes no sense to me. But I digress. So I contacted my professors and they told me that I need to start somewhere. So she said, go ahead and apply to these positions anyways, because some lawyers will take a chance on you. Otherwise, just find some other office jobs so that I could get my foot in the door. So I've been applying. I did hear back for a position with the Department of Developmental Disabilities as a case manager. And I'm waiting to hear. They liked my resume. And so I'm waiting to hear from them to see if I get that position. Otherwise, I'm still at the same job I've been at for the last 3 years, and I really want to leave. So I've got a lot going on. So for this Facebook page, you're only really going to see links to long form YouTube videos so that I can keep you guys updated. Also, subscribe to my YouTube page. That'll help me out greatly. Otherwise, what you're going to see a lot of is me still documenting what it's like to live in the United States with a chronic illness. For those of you that are new here, I have some new followers. I was born with a condition called Ehlers-Danlos, which is a connective tissue disorder. So connective tissue means basically your whole body. And with my Ehlers-Danlos, I have something called an aberrant right subclavian artery, which means that the artery that's supposed to branch out from here is over here, and it wraps around the back of my esophagus. So it's connected, but it starts on the opposite side of my heart, which pushes on my throat, which makes it hard for me to breathe sometimes. I also have an array of other problems that I'm not going to go into detail because I'm already at almost 15 minutes for this video. So I had a major breakthrough with my husband. So you're going to also see the process of keeping a marriage together. Because marriage is a lot of work. We just saw Jelly Roll and Bunny file for divorce, even though they both claim that they're still best friends, that they still have love for each other. I personally don't understand that, but that's not my journey. My husband is my best friend, and I would love to stay married to him. But marriage takes work. It's not puppies and rainbows. It's long talks. It's arguments. It's trying to understand each other. It's trying to make sure that the other one is okay. And sometimes when you do that, it means that you end up losing yourself and you have to find yourself again, which is where I'm at. This girl's got to get her sparkle back. Also, I commend my husband for being a strong enough man to be with somebody who has suffered a lifetime of abuse, starting when I was a small child. And it just continued because in my head, I let people in. It was the same pattern. I had a therapist explain this to me. When you are in an abusive situation the first time, it programs your brain to think that 4 plus 4 is 9. You know that 4 plus 4 is 8, but your brain says it's 9. So you're going to do whatever it takes to make that equation be 9. You're always going to believe that until you reprogram your brain to say, hey, no, this is wrong. This is supposed to be 8. So you get rid of the 9s so that you can attract the 8s. My husband's an 8. But for years, I was stuck on 9s. And it was just a pattern that I had to break. And it's hard. It's hard for the person getting with the person that's been through so much trauma, because they have to be on the other side of the unraveling that it takes to move past all that trauma. I'm working on it. I legit am working on it. I just turned 49. My birthday was a disaster. But there comes like a silver lining in that. My husband was the only one that consistently all day long tried to make it better. Every time something went wrong, he tried to make it right. When other people forgot, he remembered. And I saw that. And it woke me up. Hey, he's still out here. He's still riding for me. So, and then the next day, we had the best talk. We worked it out. I felt that connection to him again, and it was amazing. It's clicked in my head. Hey, this is why you've been with him for 23 years. You don't want this to go away. You want this to survive. You want this to stay strong. So we're working on it. We're gonna start doing more stuff together, going out as a couple, having fun together, and not just letting my illnesses and work and other things get in the way, because we got into a rut after being sick for so long. And money, like, the economy is shit, and it has been since 2020. They used COVID. I'm gonna say it right now. COVID was a hoax. Was COVID real? Yes, because I have long COVID, dysautonomia. My body has never been the same. They use it for multiple things, for eugenics and for a reset, economic reset for the elite. They made it to where everything is 3 times what it was before we went on lockdown. They took advantage of the American people, and I'll die on that hill because I watched it. still, and everybody's living it. When you go from having your rent be $800 a month, and then the same apartment a year later jumps to almost $1,800 a month, something's wrong, because the apartment didn't change. They didn't upgrade anything. They just hiked up the rent. The prices in the grocery stores tripled. I mean, wake up. Anyways, so yeah. So as for this page, it's going to be links to YouTube videos, maybe the occasional picture. I might hop on every once in a while. Probably not, but maybe. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. And if you were friends with me on my personal page, that page is scheduled for deletion. Too much social media, not good for the mental health, and so I'm scaling it back. I'm trying to save my marriage. I'm trying to get better, and I got to focus on those things. And I'm really going to throw myself into my church. I think that with God, all things are possible, and I can accomplish all of what I just mentioned. So, all right, guys, I hope everybody is well, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Love you.